My name is Miguel dos Santos Otero, and I have the honor to serve in the Barcelona International Christian Church. The title I have been given is Triumphant, Unshakable, Trust in God's Plan. Bible says in Daniel chapter 3, verse 16 to 18, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to him, King Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. We see here these three men of God that had faith despite the outcome. They had faith despite of the results. And is this you today? Does your faith depend on something? What does your faith depend on today? The title I've been given is Triumphant, Unshakable Faith. What does that mean? That means that the faith in itself is triumphant. Despite of the outcome, the faith is triumphant. Triumphant means victorious. Means that the result is not the victory. But it's the faith itself that is the victory already. Why? We have the victory already. We don't have faith to get the victory. We have faith because of the victory. And that is triumphant. Faith is triumphant when your faith, your trust in God does not depend on the results. When you pray to God and you ask God something and God's answer is different than what you prayed for, does your faith drop? Does your hope drop? On what does your faith depend today, brothers? In what areas of your life have you not completely been trusting in God's plan? Or has your faith been shaken? Has it been being fruitful? Has it been finding a wife? Has it been believing that God is in control despite of everything that is going on in the movement? Do you trust God that much that you trust your leader? Have you ever been in this situation where you go to your leader full of faith thinking, man, this plan that I have is awesome. And you're like, my leader's going to love this. He's going to be like, great job, Miguel. And you go to him, you explain the plan, and he goes, yes, we're not going to do that. And suddenly your faith drops. Suddenly your joy drops. It's interesting because this was not faith. This was selfish ambition. My one and only point, not your way, but Yahweh. Bible says in Proverbs 19:21, many are the plans of a man's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. Meaning that it doesn't even matter how your faith is. God's plan will happen anyways. What does that mean? That means that the whole reason why you should have faith is to make you secure and triumphant in your walk with God. God's plan will happen anyways. If you believe it or not. Meaning, whether you believe it or not, we will evangelize the world. Whether you believe it or not, today, what does your faith depend on? How faithful did you get into this conference this morning? What does your faith depend on? If I look at my own story and I look at where I come from, about 2 years ago, my life was so different. I was about to move to London. I was about to date this sister. And suddenly God says, nope. That happens sometimes, What happens? I end up going to move to Berlin to plant the church in Berlin with my incredible leader, Tomiwa. And here it comes. My incredible father in the faith challenges me to start building a relationship with this sister. I was not fired up, to be honest. I'm like, you know what? I guess leaders see something different, right? Okay, you know what? But my faith didn't shake. After my father in the faith challenged me, I go to God. I said, you know what, God? You're the one in control of my heart. You're the one in control of the situations. If you would want me to like this sister, then change my heart. And about 6 months after that, I got the ring on my finger. But this doesn't say anything about me. It just shows that me having triumphant and unshakable faith in God's plan, through my leaders, I became a married man. What does it mean practically, you're asking? Ask your discipler who you should build a relationship with. Go on dates with sisters that you like. I hope your faith didn't drop there. I hope you're still having triumphant, unshakable faith in God's plan. Go on dates with sisters you like. Go on dates with sisters you don't like. Go on dates with sisters you don't connect with. Go on dates with sisters that you're like, she needs some help. You are that help. Trust in God's plan despite of the results. Don't let your faith be shaken. Triumphant, unshakable faith in God's plan, not your plan. It's Yahweh, not your way, because the triumph in God's plan is the trust and faith in God itself. And to God be the glory.